All right, here's a story that I heard yesterday. Interesting story. When the Chassidic movement began, there was a lot of opposition. What's this over here? Chat. Yeah. When the Hasidic movement began, there was a lot of opposition to the Baal Shem Tov. People didn't know what he wanted. People didn't understand. And especially there was a lot of opposition from the religious Jews. And especially the Talmudic scholars, because they had already set their worldview. You learn the Torah, you do the commandments, you go to heaven. You don't learn the Torah, you don't do the commandments, at best you don't go to heaven. And those people, those simple Jews that don't learn Torah, you just keep away from them because they're stopping you from getting your point in heaven. And the Baal Shem Tov came along and said, stop thinking those selfish thoughts. What do you think about yourself all the time? Think about the Creator. Be happy. You're never going to be happy if you're thinking about yourself. You have to think about the Creator, how good the Creator is, how big the Creator is, how wonderful the Creator, how close the Creator is, how distant the Creator is, how wonderful, how the Creator is fun when you're learning the Torah. Learning Torah should make you small. That's what the Baal Shem Tov came to teach. And these ideas were, he was, how do you say, rocking the boat, so to speak. When the first Rebbe of Chabad came along, and the pupils of the Maggid of Mezrich, then the opposition really increased. And the Alter Rebbe, here let's talk about now possibly the best friend of the Alter Rebbe was Rabbi Levi Yitzchok of Bradichever. And Rabbi Levi Yitzchok of Bradichever, he was one of the most emotionally fervent followers of the Baal Shem Tov. The Maggid of Mezrich was the pupil of the Baal Shem Tov. So he was one of the really big Hasidim, and he was a genius. He was a Talmudic genius, and he knew Kabbalah, knew everything. But he was hated, despised by his enemies. And he was a rabbi. He was made the rabbi of several towns because he was such a genius, and he was so active in the community, and he was so loving and brave. But he was one of the Hasidim. And there was one especially called Avigdor, and he made a lot of trouble for Levi Yitzchok of Bradichever, and he was the one that was the main instrument in putting the first Rebbe of Chabad into prison, and where he was there for 53 days, or almost 2 months. The first Rebbe of Chabad. And then there was tremendous opposition. So finally, Levi Yitzchok of Bradichever, they took him to the city of Bradichever. And he became the rabbi of Bradichever after being evicted from like 4 or 5 cities because of his opposition. They were called the Misnagdim, because of the opposition. So he was in Bradichever, and the people really liked him. So one of his big enemies over there decided he was very outspoken against him. So he decided he was going to get him. How was he going to do it? So he came to Rav Levi Yitzchok Bradichever right before Yom Kippur, the day before Yom Kippur. His plan was that he was going to get Rav Levi Yitzchok Bradichever to get drunk, because the Hasidim make l'chaim, and the opposition they don't drink. You're not supposed to get drunk. The Hasidim, they sit together, they make l'chaim. So he came to Rabbi Levi Yitzchok Bradichever, and he came with a whole bottle of vodka, and he said, listen, it's the day before Yom Kippur, and I feel bad. No, his plan was he wanted to get him drunk, and he would go to shul, maybe even take him to the synagogue, and Levi Yitzchok would be all drunk, maybe throwing up and just, totally out of his mind, and he would say to the congregation, look, this is the person you want to have for a rabbi. That was his plan. So he went to Rav Levi Yitzchok's house, and he said, listen, I regret everything I've done. I want to make peace. Before Yom Kippur, we have to make peace one another. And let's drink to it. We'll seal the agreement. We're going to make the new peace covenant we're making, me and you. Let's seal it with drinking. So Reb Levi Yitzchak said, "Oh, this is wonderful. This is what I've been waiting for sure." So he gives him a big glass, and to himself he drinks water, whatever, however he works it out. But Reb Levi Yitzchak in the end drinks the whole entire bottle of vodka, and he didn't drink it all. Now he's really happy. And so Yom Kippur is supposed to be coming in another hour. He goes back home, this enemy of Misnagid, and he does whatever he has to do. He goes to the mikveh, whatever it is, eats the last meal before Yom Kippur, and he goes to the synagogue. He's hoping that Reb Levi Yitzchak is drunk at home, just passed out, drunk. And he'll say to the congregation, "Here, this is the type of rabbi you have. He's not even here for Kol Nidre, he's not here." And he goes there, and there's Reb Yitzchak Bradichever, and he's standing there. And he saw him with his own eyes. He drank a whole bottle of vodka, and he was totally sober. The vodka, if anything, it just enhanced, and his face was like radiating with holiness, and he was very astounded. And Reb Levi Yitzchak said a sentence. Before Yom Kippur, the custom is that they would read the Psalms, the book of Psalms, sentence by sentence. Reb Levi Yitzchak, he would say a sentence, and then they would say a sentence. And he got to a sentence in Psalms chapter 41, right near the end of 41. And it goes like this. It says, Bezos yadati ki chafatzta bi. In this, I know that you desire me, God. This is King David saying. Ki lo yuria oivai alai. Because my enemies did not do any bad to me. There was no bad of my enemies to me, alai. And he said the sentence, and he repeated it. And then he repeated it again, and he repeated it again. And this opposer thought, "Oh, that's it. No, he's drunk. He's repeating the sentence over and over. He doesn't know where he is." And he repeated it, but he repeated it in such a genuine way that this Misnagid was like astounded. And Reb Levi Yitzchak said, "I want to explain the sentence. I want to explain." It says, "Bezos yadati ki chafatzta bi." This is how I know, God, that you desire me. How I know that you desire me? Ki lo yuria orvai alai. Because you didn't do any bad to my enemies because of me. I prayed to you, God, that no one should be punished because of me. Because of the evil that they did terrible things to him. They tried to kill him several times. That my enemies should not be punished because of me. Lo yuria orvai. There was not done any bad to my enemies alai because of me. The simple meaning is that my enemies didn't do any bad alai to me. So that as soon as this enemy of Reb Levi Yitzchak heard this, and he realized that all this time that was being done bad to him, he was only praying for those people who were doing him evil, that they shouldn't be punished. As soon as he heard that, he started to weep, and he fell down to his knees. He said, "Please forgive me for everything I've done." And he became one of the biggest Chassidim of Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Bradichever. The story doesn't say what his name was. At least the story that I heard, maybe in the original does. So in others, we have to really forgive our enemies, as many as they are, but we have to pray that they stop being our enemies. Have a good day with Mashiach now. And now,
Shofar.
yes, shofar.